That fucking bitch.
Is the gender pay gap real?
Yes, men statistically get paid more than women, even in the same position of power.
Do you work like a job at the moment?
No, I don't.
Okay, got it. If the gender pay gap exists, women are paid less for the same job. Why wouldn't firms just hire only women?
Men, especially men in power, think that women below them can't do the job as well. So that's one of the reasons they do get paid less. And they just think men do the job better. So that's why they end up hiring men, even though they do pay the women less.
If women can do the job just as well, then why would they not just hire women? They can just pay them less for the same job.
Because they don't. They want men to fill those roles because they want the men to go up in power and get better at the job they're working at.
Less profits, more penis. Every CEO.
That's funny. Thank you.
The ability to create a fictional story out of thin air is astonishing. Do you work? No. My man oppresses me by paying for everything.
I personally don't think the top football players in the world should be paid as much as they do. I think it's ridiculous, the amount. The average worker in this country hasn't had a pay rise in over a decade. How is that going to change one another?
I am so tired of women whining. Literally, the men fund our leagues and we will still whine that we don't get paid enough. When athletes do shit like this, it makes all of us look bad. Because instead of being thankful for the league that we have, we go out and whine and complain about the pay.
I think that society needs strong men.
Women could be strong too. But
Talking about women, does society need strong men?
I would only say certain jobs.
Do we not need men to protect us?
I don't think we need men to protect people in particular, because I don't really believe on the implications of social gender.
What about building the roads and going to war and, and sewage jobs and construction? Don't we need men for certain things?
We need just bodies for a lot of things. What people call manpower is just body power, and guess what? Women have bodies too.
In terms of the infrastructure, building and maintaining it, we absolutely need men. These feminists have been sold a lie. We need men and we need women. I tell you what we don't need though. We don't need feminism. If we could ship every single feminist to Mars, let them live their happy little life with all their cats. Yeah, they don't need men, so they're going to be so happy because there's no men anymore. No one would miss them. No one.
The claim that the wage gap between men and women is only due to sex is wrong.
But do you agree that it's unfair? If you're a woman...
Not necessarily.
And on average you're getting paid 9% less than a man, that's not fair, is it?
It depends on why it's happening. I can give you an example. There's a personality trait known as agreeableness. Agreeable people are compassionate and polite. And agreeable people get paid less than less agreeable people for the same job. Women are more agreeable than men.
Again, a vast generalization. Some women are not more agreeable than men.
Yes, that's true, but that's right. And some women get paid more than men.
So you're saying that by and large, women are too agreeable to get the pay rises they deserve?
No, I'm saying that that's one component of a multivariate equation that predicts salary. It accounts for maybe 5% of the variance, something like that.
So surely
you need about another 18 factors, one of which is gender. And there is prejudice, there's no doubt about that, but it accounts for a much smaller proportion of the variance in the pay gap than the radical feminists claim.
You know, it's kind of funny because she probably earns more than 90% of men, but if you watch the full interview, he shuts her down and she just wasn't listening to any of his facts because it didn't fit her agenda. Typical feminist.
You know, recently there's been a lot of articles pointing out how men are far less emotionally intelligent than women and how that's been ruining their relationships.
Oh yeah, I always say the wife's more intelligent than me. Emotionally, of course.
You know, it's unfortunate, but it's a department that we lack in. Last week we're at the airport. Our plane gets delayed an hour, whereas my natural instinct would be to say, it is what it is, there's nothing we can do. Brittany had the emotional intelligence to realize this is a big deal. We should be arguing with anyone who will listen, and in general, just going ballistic, regardless of whether or not it'll help.
Look, it's not about whether or not it helps.
No.
For example, say you plan an outdoor event and it begins to rain. An emotionally unintelligent person like myself might suggest some sort of alternative or contingency, or maybe we'll do it on another day, as opposed to realizing that this is in fact the end of the world and you should be flying off the handle.
You know, whether you're reading an article about COVID coming back or your Uber Eats driver brings you the wrong order, we as men do not have the emotional intelligence to realize that not only is this something we should be freaking out about, but we should also be becoming actively hostile to others who are remaining calm.
Okay, so imagine setting up the camera in your passenger seat, just to play the victim in a made-up scenario? How pathetic is that? And you're that desperate for attention. Just like the made-up scenario in your head that you're a woman when you're not. You are a man. You nearly banged your Adam's apple getting in that car. It's like the size of a golf ball. Funniest part is he set up the camera, turned the light on in his... Yeah, exactly. Turned the light on in his car, went back outside and acted the whole thing out. Spending more time in a place he's pretending to be scared of shows he's not actually scared because he's a man.
You're a phony! Hey, this guy's a great thing!
That's probably the schizophrenia talking to you.
After Woody Harrelson had that monologue on SNL.
So the movie goes like this. The biggest drug cartels in the world get together and buy up all the media and all the politicians and force all the people in the world to stay locked in their homes, and people can only come out if they take the cartel's drugs and keep taking them over and over. I threw the script away. I mean, who is gonna believe that crazy idea?
Right after it, the next day, there's all these hit pieces. Calling him an anti-vaxxer and a stoner. When he makes that joke and he talks about them buying all the media, and then all the media responds as if they've been bought and paid for. That's pretty wild.
I am trigender, which means like a triangle, I have 3 genders. Male, female, and non-binary. And the difference between trigender and gender fluid is that I feel all 3 of these genders at the same time, all the time. It doesn't ever shift or change, or where I feel one gender more strongly than the other, like gender fluid tends to be.
Okay. The women got a pool, or got paid out from a pool of $30 million from the Women's World Cup. The men would draw from a pool of $400 million, okay? $400 million, $30 million. Why is that? It's because the Men's World Cup generates $6 billion in revenue. The Women's World Cup generates $131 million in revenue. If you want to talk about pay disparity, the Women's World Cup players get paid out 20% of the total revenue. The men get paid out 7%. As a percentage point, they are getting much more. The problem is, for anybody desiring equal pay, and by the way, I think equal pay is a ridiculous concept in and of itself. If the women generate more revenue, they should get paid more than the men. Don't strive for getting the same, strive for getting what you're worth. And if you're worth more, then get more.
I asked my wife and her reply was, she had no idea that there was a Women's World Cup. That says a lot. Yeah, it's basic economics, I've said that before. Why do people not understand that? If you can make someone 100 million, for example, and he might say, I'm going to give you 10% of that, that's 10 million. If someone else comes along and says, I can make you 5 million, but I demand you pay me 10 million like you're paying the other guy, he's going to be like, no, what are you talking about?
Get the fuck out of here, man.
And that's exactly what's going on in the USA women's and men's team. The men generate all the money, basically. The women generate a small amount of money in comparison to the men. What they do is they combine the total money generated from both the male and the female leagues, and then they split it 50-50. That's not equal pay, is it? That's unfair treatment. So the women are getting a far better deal than the men, and they're still complaining. Make it make sense.
No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of. In all of human history, nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth.
Women don't get paid as much as men.
Yeah.
I always hear that. How do you respond to that?
It drives me insane. It drives me insane.
Is that a fact?
But that's true, no?
It is not true when they do the same jobs as men. I'm sorry you want to work at Vogue and pick out pretty bags for a photo shoot, but you don't get paid as much as an engineer. Men and women have different interests. We are biologically different. When I was in school, every single girl that I was friends with was majoring in either comms or TMD fashion, right? The truth is that if you go into a career and you want to be a buyer for Macy's and men are, taking business classes and want to go be CEOs of hedge funds, they're going to make more money. We have different interests. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. The idea that women should want to climb the top of a ladder and, go into corporate America and be there forever. Women want to have kids, right? So there's another reason that they're not making as much money as men is because a lot of women want to stay home with their children, which is an admirable goal, which feminism tries to wipe away.
How much does a man have to make to be with you?
That's between me and my man.
Okay, but I mean your man is watching.
Like I said, that's between me and my man. It don't matter how much you make.
It don't matter at all?
Listen, if me and my man have established that we gonna be together and we gonna be loyal, then what he make don't matter, because at the end of the day, it's both of us. So if we ain't making shit that month, that year, then that's on us.
So at what age do you feel like a man should have like life kind of together?
We're constantly growing and evolving. So whenever God feels like he completed his will, that's when you will have everything you desire. Thank you.
Oh my God! Wow! Yo, why you so hard, man? I'm big hard, man. You look like you only about 5. I'm gonna call you that shit. You look like you about, nah, no disrespect. You look like you're about 11. Yeah, I'm probably older enough to do this pop. Wow, man. You know what you need? You need to cry. You need, listen, I'll tell you what, man. No disrespect, fam. I ain't trying to disrespect you. I'm saying you need to just get a good cry out, man, and get that dog, get the dog out of you. Come on, man. Do you got him? Your mom, your mother and father still alive? Your grandma, you got a grandmother? Your just see, let it out, man. That's it, man. Let it out. You don't gotta be okay.
It's crazy how many people like this are probably on the verge of a breakdown. Like, it's actually crazy. All they needed growing up was a little bit of guidance and a little bit of love. That man made a life-changing experience, so big respect to him. Seriously, if there was more people like this in the world would be a better place. But anyway, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure you like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support. Honestly, guys, I actually appreciate every single one of you so much. It's insane. Like, the support is amazing. Anyway, I hope everyone has a good Christmas, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.
Be delusional. If you don't believe that you are, think that you are. Once you repeat so many times a thing in your head, it's gonna literally come into your life. There is no other way.
You can rest now. You made a great job today. Be proud of yourself. You're the bullshit. You could have done better today. Someone forgot that he was his family's last hope. He needs to get back on track before it's too late. Do you want to remain a loser? A lazy shit who can't even stand to run a few miles? Do you want to tell your son, Dad didn't make it because he quit and was too lazy?